Well, listening to Lavrov today was our Moscow correspondent, Jake Cordell. Here's what he told me a bit earlier.
A typically aggressive and confrontational press conference from Sergei Lavrov. You mentioned all the key points. You mentioned the things we've been hearing from him for weeks, and the stuff about the Western encirclement of Russia for years almost. You can see when he's talking these press conferences, almost revels in this isolation that Russia's been put into from its invasion into Ukraine. And really, his comments there laid the groundwork for what we've just heard in the last hour. The President Vladimir Putin told French President Emmanuel Macron on a telephone call. He also criticized the long-term genocide in eastern Ukraine, as Vladimir Putin called it. And interestingly, he picked out something that Macron had said. Macron had called Russia out for its lies about justification for war. And Putin directly criticized Macron for doing that and said that it will continue in its uncompromising fight in Ukraine until it achieves its objectives. So we're really seeing a hardening of Russian rhetoric, the diplomatic track, and on the military front as well.
A hardening of government rhetoric, Jake. Is there any sign that the Russian population is not buying that line from the government in a significant way? Perhaps, actually, as the Russian death toll from the war mounts?
Yeah, there's definitely signs of discontent. And you mentioned that death toll. Yesterday was the first time Russian officials have actually declared the casualties that Russia has suffered in the war. They said almost 500 soldiers have died. Now, Ukraine says it could be 10 times as much as that. But this would have been a real shock to much of the Russian population, who for a week have been being told that this campaign is going fine and it's just a special limited peacekeeping force being sent into the Donbass. We're seeing protests. We've now had protests for 7 straight days. They are small scale by Russian standards, but protests are illegal in Russia. And we've had 7,000 arrests. The police are really hitting down hard. And we are seeing the propaganda machine ramp up as well. Today, in Russian schools all across the country, children from as young as 7 years old are being given lessons on why Russia is conducting a liberation mission in eastern Ukraine. So there's no let up on the propaganda front here, but there are signs the population is starting to push back, at least in some sections.